Gladys, a 30-year-old African-American woman with a radiant smile and a happy-go-lucky spirit, had moved to a small village in Africa 2 years ago. She worked with an NGO dedicated to empowering women by teaching them how to cultivate thriving home gardens. Her days were filled with laughter, community, and much to her delight, the most flavorful food she had ever tasted. Her love for the local delicacies, from smoky jollof rice to perfectly grilled plantains, had brought her immense joy and an extra 20 pounds. Gladys didn't mind at first. She felt more alive, enjoying the sensuality of savoring each meal. But one day, as she caught her reflection in the cracked mirror of her modest but cute local village home, she decided it was time for a change. "This is it," she declared, flipping through her phone to rediscover an old diet plan she had heard about in college. The cabbage soup diet. 7 days of pure discipline, and I'll be back in shape. What Gladys didn't know was that her new curves had caused quite the stir among the village men, who gathered daily under the grand Baobab Tree. They had taken to placing light-hearted bets on who would win her heart once she reached what they jokingly called optimal voluptuousness, a mere 10 pounds away by their calculations. Under the Baobab Tree, the conversations grew more animated each day. "She's perfect as she is," argued Kwame, a confident fisherman with a deep laugh that echoed like thunder. "Ah, but imagine her with just a little more," countered Olu, the village's aspiring poet, gesturing dramatically as if painting a masterpiece in the air. Meanwhile, Gladys was blissfully unaware of the chatter. She threw herself into the diet with determination. Her mornings began with a steaming bowl of cabbage soup, and she nibbled on raw carrots and cucumbers during the day. By the third day, her cravings for the village's buttery cassava were nearly unbearable. But she pushed on, determined to see results. One sunny afternoon, as Gladys carried a basket of freshly harvested vegetables to the community garden, she overheard snatches of conversation from the baobab tree. "I heard she's eating only soup now." "Soup," exclaimed Tunde, the village blacksmith. "Soup cannot sustain a woman like her," declared Kwame, shaking his head. "She needs strength, vitality." Curious, Gladys paused behind a cluster of bushes to eavesdrop. Her cheeks flushed as she realized they were talking about her. "Let's hope she abandons this madness soon," said Olu, sighing. "The village feast is next week. What will she do then? Sip soup while the rest of us enjoy life?" Gladys's indignation turned to laughter as she stepped out from her hiding spot. "Well, gentlemen, you'll be happy to know that my soup is quite delicious," she said, hands on her hips. "But if you're so concerned, why don't you join me for a bowl?" The men froze, caught red-handed. Then, one by one, they burst into laughter, the tension evaporating. Kwame stepped forward, his tone earnest. "Gladys, we've all noticed your strength and kindness. It's not your weight that matters, but the way you light up this village," Olu nodded. "And your laughter. It's poetry in itself." Touched by their words, Gladys felt a surge of confidence. That evening, she reflected on her journey. She realized her worth wasn't tied to her weight or appearance, but to the connections she had built and the impact she made in the community. The next day, she tweaked her diet to include hearty meals shared with her friends while continuing her healthy habits. At the village feast, Gladys radiated joy as she danced under the stars. Kwame approached her with a plate of her favorite dish, grilled plantains. "For you, Gladys," he said, his voice warm. "You're perfect as you are." And in that moment, Gladys knew that true love for oneself and others wasn't about numbers on a scale, but about embracing life fully and unapologetically.
I hope you were inspired by our story. For every woman striving for change, remember that your worth is not measured by your weight, but by the joy, love, and light you bring to the world. Embrace your journey and cherish the connections that make life meaningful. Thank you for listening to our story at Just Tales OK. Like, share, and subscribe. You can also support the channel by buying me a cup of coffee. Thank you.